Afternoon. So it's been a couple of weeks now, and I thought I'd give you a kind of an update on where I'm at with my goat tool and what my initial thoughts are. And they're not actually very good. If you want a multi-tool that out of the box is easy to use, easy to operate, made of good quality material, and you can just pick up and run with. Might be a little bit stiff in some of the bits and bits initially, but it's just going to sort of wear in it and be easy to use. Then I would go for a Leatherman. To be honest, I wouldn't go for one of these. I've had a few issues with this. However, if you're wanting a tool that you can play with and grow with and mod to your particular configuration, then this is certainly worthy of consideration. So for mine, what I did straight off is I took away the clip. I still got the clip, it's somewhere in this box of stuff. I just found it uncomfortable. There's a video somewhere of someone showing how you can use it to pop open a bottle of beer. Hey, great. I'm sure there's other ways of doing that. Anyway, the clip to me was just painful in the hand. And then the next thing I've done is mine came with all titanium covers, and I put them on, just didn't need them, but hey, you know, I did anyway. And then I switched out the standard blade because mine came with an s30v blade, and here's the issue I've got, right? Trying to open things is actually kind of tricky. You've got to make sure that nothing else pops open. Once it's locked into place, it's fairly well locked. I'm happy with that. The blade, by the way, and anyone who knows me knows I'm kind of always have the issue, is that it's not very sharp, right? It's just doesn't really cut. Bit of paper. I need that one. So. It's just, I haven't sharpened this yet, and you can see it. It's just kind of ripping and catching. So I will sharpen that and then see how the s30v works, because I've got other s35v blades, and this one is a Spyderco, and I think it's the same stuff, s35v, and you know, just the difference on the cut is just, well, for me it's night and day. So you can see the s35v, which is maybe a second tier super steel, can be made really sharp. So I'm going to have a play with that and see what I can do. The other thing I had to do was change where some of the blades were positioned, and that's partly because the driver in there, it has a magnet which holds into place, which could be a good idea, but a magnet causes some blades to engage, and then there's a little magnet in there that keeps it stable. Double-sided bits, takes ordinary bits as well, takes all sorts of bits. There's an ordinary bit there. Bang. Plus it takes the Leatherman ones. So I'm happy with the driver. And my Wave didn't have a driver. It's a first gen. The modern ones do. So bit driver, big change for me. I carried 46 different bits with me. I use the Leatherman ones, and they're fantastic. Fits in here really good. Just gives me a lot more options when I'm wandering about. What else have I done? I have done the scissor mod. So what's the scissor mod, you say? Well, the scissor out of the box, the spring in it, out of the box, when you start cutting with it, it disengages from the scissors and sits on top of it and stops working. It doesn't damage it in any way, it just means you can't cut. You've got to stop and put things back together. So I've done the scissor mod, which just basically means you take this out, bend the spring carefully that way, and then put it back into place, and it works fine now. I haven't had another issue with it. So that is good. And then I switched the scalpel and the blade position, so the blade's now over here. I'm running the saw. I took at the moment the wood saw. The wood saw is actually alright. I don't have an issue with it. It's quite good. The metal file is a little bit crap. That is just sort of a cross hatch and a single hatch pattern, but there's no diamonds. My wave one has diamonds embedded, and they make quite a difference. There's another guy, Boba Fett. He took this and ground it flat, ground into a chisel and made it into a pry bar / chisel. And I do keep this thing in the belt pouch it came with, but the issue I've got with the belt pouch is that it's just not very good. It was free and stuff, but it doesn't hold much beside this, and I'd like it to be able to hold other stuff as well, because like I said, it comes with these extra bits and bobs, which is fantastic. There's a what is that? There's this original blade. There's a like a safety cutter. There's a driver, big driver. There's a screwdriver that can actually open a can of bottle of beer with that, by the way, and a little wee one. So, and then it's the clip. So it comes with good stuff, but the pouch doesn't really give you the option of carrying them. The pouch said, okay, look, you're going to have some extra bits and bobs. Let's make a few pockets, and it does have one pocket in the back, and it's got things on the side. If you put things on the side and you take the tool out, the things on the side fall out. So yeah, do I like it? I'm starting to like it. Okay, at first I thought, oh, it's exciting, it's new, and then I found it was really hard to actually use. It was tricky to do things with it. It didn't do what I thought it would do. It was hard to change the bits, and I was like, man, maybe I should just go and buy a Surge and be done with it. But I persevered, and now that I've done some of the mods which people have recommended, it's starting to come together quite nicely. I will probably get a different pouch. This one is okay, but it doesn't carry the stuff I need. It's just, the pouch is just not very good. Also, it's a good idea to lubricate the tools and then open and close them a few times, so that it grinds away just a little bit of the metal. Maybe you can feel that graunching. It's best to do this without the blade in there, because that's asking for trouble. And just so it's a bit smoother to open, and it's starting to get there. There's another issue people have said, is that the cutters, the way they're positioned is too, there's not enough gap for them to cut metal, and it looks like it's not cutting, but when you actually take it off, my ones, it is, and it doesn't matter where you position it. You can do it at the front, cuts it, you can do it at the back, doesn't quite cut it, but you can do it in the middle. It does cut it, but it doesn't cut as smoothly. So what you can do, and I've seen guys do this, is they take the blades off 2mm bit, and then use a Dremel and just cut away the inside of that, and careful not to cut at the hole, and then you just make a little indentation and then it cuts. Well, you put everything back together and the gap allows whatever you're cutting to be cut nicely, because at the moment the tolerance is so little that small stuff cuts, but big stuff doesn't. But kind of how you position it. I might do that later on if I continue to use it. So yeah, it's got issues. It's not perfect out of the box, but then this is, Model 1, and I suspect down the track they'll do slightly upgraded models. I've seen some cool things come out. People have printed like a fork and a spoon to eat with, maybe a spork, I don't know about that yet. I've seen someone do a comb. So someone did a what did they do? They did a slingshot. The advantage with this is that you can fairly easily open it up. You take out the little bar, you pop that open, you grab your tool, whatever one you want to, you pop it out, you can use it, replace it, do things with it, put it back in. Now, you could have to be careful with this, because I've found that a couple of times I thought I had it in place, I was doing things and it sprung out. So you do have to make sure that when you're putting it all back in, that you get it on the bar and that nothing else moves. Yeah, I think that's in place, so get that back, because sometimes the damn thing hasn't quite engaged. I'm not sure that's in the right place now, and that's got a great big dirty scalpel blade on there which will cut you into pieces. So yeah, not in the right place. So that is the difficulty, is that you really need, well, I find I really need to be careful how I'm changing things, because sometimes it just doesn't quite seem to work. Now maybe I'm doing it wrong, maybe there's a better way. See, I think that's yeah. See, sometimes it doesn't quite go in, and then you're in problems because that flicks. And so far, no cuts, but we're in pretty close. So yeah, I'm gonna make or find a better case. I'd like to be able to carry my bits with it, because flats doesn't really cut the mustard. And I'd like to be able to carry the other bits and bobs I got with it, because after all, this is interchangeable, and not having them, sometimes you want them. Sometimes you want more than this will hold. On the other hand, it's solid, even though it was made in China. Now, designed in America, I think it was originally designed to be made in America, but manufacturing costs meant they made it in China. I would have preferred they had picked another country, but hey, they had to keep the price down to meet the costs of all the Kickstarters and Indigo people and things like that. Maybe they'll bring it home at some point. It's not perfect, but it's certainly another step in the multi-tool sort of universe, and I'm enjoying it so far. It does have some issues, and we're just going to keep working with them and see how it goes. See whether I end up going back to Leatherman, in which case I might actually get something like a Surge, or whether I keep using it. So time will tell. At the moment, I like it. I like the fact that I took the clip off and I've got the scales and it feels nice in the hand. It's just not as easy to operate as a wave, which is much easier to operate one-handed. And this has got the clips to do it, but you've got to hold the other ones down. You can't just pop that open like you can with the other ones, because everything starts coming out then. And also, finally, you can use this as a hammer. the flat bit there, you can do that, but then the driver disengages from the magnet and it gets kind of caught up and stuff, so I wouldn't recommend using it as a hammer. I mean, I used my, just possibly remove the bit, right, and then go wild, or be aware that you need to track it down. Also, closing it, not as easy. Trying to open it one-handed, not as easy. You gotta you gotta use two hands to do something. It's not as good, but it's got a lot of potential, and I'm gonna keep using it, and I'll keep you updated. Hey guys, have a nice day. Go Tools.